coronavirus. It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
So the virus, as you saw the interview that Trump did in Axios, he likes to sit like he's sitting on the toilet everywhere, and he lied to American people. The death toll is now over 160,000. This is getting serious right now.
That's definitely not a stat where you want to be number one.
It is what it is, man. Were you like a gangster, that's the most gangster. Like, it is what it is. That's like something that they said.
Some camera on shit.
Yeah, no. Then they said Joe Pesci before they killed Joe Pesci. That's what they said. No, they killed Al Pacino's character and the Irishman. That's what they said. It is what it is. What it is, like, it is what it is. And he gets shot in the head. Like, this is the kind of like sociopath we have as president, using mafia lingo. This is crazy, man. So, but in the meantime, we need to understand certain things about the virus. I feel people think I'm not sick. I can just go out, and party with my friends on the boat and breathe each other's air. But in reality, we need to understand between how having symptoms and not having symptoms. I guess because this virus is not like some Hollywood nightmare virus where people are just like falling out in the streets, bleeding out of their eyes. People are not like turning feral and chewing at each other. So like it doesn't have impact on people. So I thought this video is really cool. It's like kind of
it's not
cool
a particularly
video.
Gruesome disease either, where you show signs of it on the outside, or even if you are symptomatic, these aren't symptoms that we haven't seen before. We've seen people cough before. We've seen people, have asthma attacks before. Yeah. It's not something that really that people really have a whole lot of urgency about. Yeah. It's one of those weird silent killers where it's like, hey, I'm not really sick. I got the Rona. I'm not really sick. Yeah. But then, you killed your cousin or your aunt or your grandmother or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, if the COVID-19, the symptoms was that you grow roach legs, and it was very painful when you grew those roach legs, then maybe people might start wearing masks and start social distancing.
But then you'd run really fucking fast.
Oh God! And you have to get a roach face too.
People's doors and stuff.
Yeah, if the symptoms were more like horrific, then people would be like, "Oh no, man, I'm not gonna go out tonight, man. I don't want to turn into a fucking half lobster." Like that's but that's not what's happening.
Turned you into a communist. People be wearing a mask, like ultra quick fast. They be putting on hazmat suits.
I mean, that's what Trump tried to do, but too many people are dying. So Jesse plays this video real quick. It's actually a good video, breaking down, the asymptomatic confusion that's happening around like people. We played this clip. He's not wearing a mask right either. So.
Oh man.
So like this is a good. Oh shit, this news channel. Get up on the floor. Learn about COVID-19.
COVID-19 in general, we know that majority of the people will be asymptomatic. In the Western world, it's said up to 80% of the people are asymptomatic. In Africa, it's actually more than 90. If you have a bit of tiredness, a bit of like itch in your throat, a bit of fatigue, and maybe a bit of some mild fever, most people don't even realize it. And then they end up thinking that they don't have any symptoms.
Yes,
we expect to get cough, we expect to get fever, we expect to get like really bad sore throat or difficulty in breathing. Not majority of people won't get that. Now, the people who get the symptoms, most of them will be mild to moderate. So less than 5% of people will get severe symptoms. It's been a bit of controversy of late because WHO released a statement saying that people who are asymptomatic are less likely to spread the virus. If you are asymptomatic, you are more likely to be mobile, walking around, interacting with people.
You're going to be the one spreading that shit, killing people.
Yeah, rubbing all over that water tub, just rubbing your body all over it. Yeah.
Next to you, you tend to avoid them, right? But if they're not sneezing and they're smiling with you, then you're less concerned. So I think when people are asymptomatic, they are more likely to pass the infection. And I think that's what's happening in our environment. Assume that you can be infected anytime and assume that once you get infected, you can infect your loved ones. So take as much precautions as you can.
Yeah, so
some of the things that I've seen in
go.
reference to COVID-19, when doctors were really starting to learn about the, how the virus works, it seems like viruses are always looking for new and improved ways to propagate itself. And in the case of COVID-19, in the majority of people who are infected, the virus tricks your immune system into not recognizing that it's been infiltrated for several days to give it time to shed itself to be able to infect new hosts, which I think is just fucking insidious as fuck. Like, that's some ultra creepy shit. Like, I'm not even going to let you know you're sick and you're going to spread it all around the world. Like,
we're never going to go into biology about this, the simplicity of this weapon, like this nature, how simple and how powerful nature can be,
Yeah, but when you think about it, it's appropriate to talk about, because one of the other symptoms is lured people into a false sense of security around it, where if your immune system is not telling you that you're in danger, then in your mind you're not in danger, and you think that it's all good.
I don't know, but I don't know, but this country has like a death count that's like historians going to be studying forever. So I think we have a different problem here. Why people being idiots.
We definitely do. But I think that if people were throwing up black blood, like in the movies, it'd be different. Like if you saw people fucking running shoulder first in the SUVs, knocking them over like in World War Z. People socially distance really fucking fast. With all kinds of masks, right? Helmets, right? Because like it tricks you into that false sense of security, like it's just the flu, and it really isn't just the flu,
And because of that, because of this like kind of blasé,
Trojan malware. That's a good point, Waffles. Coronavirus has similar properties to Trojan malware. Like it gets in, you think everything is good, and then it propagates itself and then explodes out of your cells, and now your lungs and your nervous system is like, what the fuck is this? Now you're all fucked up.
But it ain't the last thing I heard. Over 36 states, their cases are going up, and like because New York City, because of that, New York City.
Doesn't Trump have a bar graph that shows like 4 different colors on a piece of paper?
And there's books. You read the books about it? You mean the books? All those books about something that's happened 6 months ago? You read the books about them? Get out of here. So because people are not acting right, New York City is now going to set up some like siege Bruce Willis shit. Hopefully it won't turn out to be that way. If Jesse pulls up this video, we need Denzel Washington to swoop in right now. So
we turn to New York City. Well, a success story in a lot of ways. Got its outbreak under
he's
control,
talking,
and now cracking down on out-of-towners from
the city sets up quarantine checkpoints like key bridges and tunnels, ladies and gentlemen.
Setting up now
you don't need words to see cops at tunnels and bridges right now, waiting and checking cars. I don't even know how they're checking it or what's their guidelines for it. Like, do you look like you have a cold in your car? They're going to pull you over. I wish we can hear him talk about it, but that's the kind of questions I have when you're driving across the bridge. They're going to pull you over. You coughing, bro? You coughing?
Here in New York State, this is because a fifth of new COVID cases in New York City are from people coming from other states.
They're going to check your plates. Look at this.
Puerto Rico
this is crazy. So look, these are all the states. If we go to any of the states, a 14-day quarantine.
Remember, nobody wanted New York residents to visit
24 hours. But if you stay there from 24 hours, all those states, that's more than 35 states.
Rules may be forced to pay up to
$2,000. When other states didn't want to allow people to come from New York,
may face a $2,000
now the shoe's on the other foot.
And about travelers,
so
air travelers as well.
What's happening is going down. They're setting up
have been requiring
key bridges and tunnels are having checkpoints. So the airlines. There was also news about the State Department allowing travel outside the country, which makes no sense because you can't go anywhere. But the State Department did just like a few hours ago. So
Rona, you shall not pass.
Yeah.
They know who they are.
So, and then I thought the baseball season was going to be kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, but Jesse plays his clip. If Jesse plays his clip, you can see what's going down.
Well, it's only been just over a week since the shortened baseball season got underway, and COVID-19 has been wreaking havoc on teams, players, and league logistics. Eric Chemi joins me now with the very latest on that front and the potential financial impact. Eric?
Kelly, that's right. Every day, more players are testing positive with COVID-19. That means more quarantines, more postponed games, uncertain schedules, and a looming threat. The entire season may be canceled. That's putting billions of dollars at risk. Major League Baseball is now adding stricter safety protocols in hopes of saving the season. Over 2/3 of Miami Marlins players had tested positive, forcing the league to postpone 14 games and adjust the schedules of 6
14 games?
Philadelphia and Washington also had players with positive tests. Then the St. Louis Cardinals had to postpone their weekend series in Milwaukee as they had a rash of positive results, with more test results still to come.
So
check this out. So check
that's
this
the news
out,
from
right?
MLB.
No, check this out, right? So this is from MLB insider Jason Stark of ESPN. I don't know if he's still ESPN. But he said, you thought it would be impossible for MLB, Major League Baseball, to find a way to make up all the games that were postponed because of the virus? Nope, they're trying. They just scheduled a 7-game series between the Phillies and Marlins from September 10th to September 14th with 2 double headers mixed in. They've even changed the double header rules. In the past, if you had a double header, you would play a 9-inning game plus extra innings if there were any. And then they would have like a 45-minute to 1 hour break. And then all of the position players would get back on the field, a new pitcher, a whole new game, and then they would play another 9 innings plus extra innings. In this case, they're playing 2 7-inning games. Like, they are so desperate to get all of these games in, but we still have players still testing positive here, there, and everywhere. So a lot of us baseball fans we don't have a whole lot of faith that the season that they're going to make it through the whole season. The consensus is they're going to have to call the season maybe a week from now. Maybe 2 weeks from now.
A week from now? Oh my God, that's
because the thing is, like, a couple of teams are going to end up having players test positive, but those teams will have played several other teams. They're probably just going to have to shut the whole shit down. That's how people are seeing it.
It doesn't sound like it's working. And so another thing we have to talk about also is people have been sitting around for a long ass time. Normal people, athletes. They're not training as hard as they could. I mean, they're training at home, but they're not training like the optimum level of training. So this clip right here of Jesse plays, this is like a good clip for gamblers right now, so they can figure out. Because
much of the focus this year in getting back to Major League Baseball is preventing the coronavirus, but that's not all that's top of mind right now.
Medical reporter Liz Bonus joins us again with what local sports medicine specialists say we also need to consider as we start up sports again. Liz?
Yeah, that's how we feel. We're ready for this all to start up again, but the risk for COVID sort of new this year. The risk of getting back to baseball or any sport right now after a gap in training or a shorter season comes with another risk, however. This year, it's injuries.
And I think it is just because, as I said, they're going 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. They haven't been doing everything like they normally do.
So it's crazy talking about people doing some crazy doubleheader right now, which is I don't know, it just sounds like
this according to Ohio's Tri-Health orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Andrew
we've had a one-star pitcher for the Atlanta Braves go to field disposition.
In the elbow, you'll hear about
and
Tommy
we all
John
saw
injuries,
his Achilles tendon
which
just
are
pop,
ligament injuries
and a
occur
ripple
inside
go
aspect
calf
of the elbow,
muscle.
particularly pitchers.
In soccer, it's knees that are feeling the stress with torn ligaments. And as football begins with summers off, head injuries the main concern.
When somebody
That's always the
comes to
concern with
department,
football.
a lot of the primary job that we need to do is to make sure from that head injury that there's not been particularly bleeding in or around the brain. Obviously, that's the most dangerous version.
In basketball, there's a real risk for back injuries if timeout from sports didn't involve
Especially if you get the shit
strength
crossed out of
training.
you.
In the back world specifically, we see a lot of that acute strain
ankles.
or that acute
Yeah,
herniated
ankles,
disc
your
with
back.
a radiating sciatica or a radiculopathy.
You start singing that song,
so
My
we'll see
Neck,
a
My
lot of
Back.
that initially, acutely.
While professional players may
Top
still
10,
stay
top
in
5
shape,
rap.
these sports
Billboard.
medicine specialists remind all of us this pandemic
Yeah, your
sports
ankles are a
season,
wrap.
you don't just want to get back to play, you want to be able to stay in play.
The key thing in those situations is just to gradually increase. That's true of whether we're talking about baseball or runners or swimmers, no matter what the sport.
One other thing.
So if you're a gambler and you just saw that clip,
one other thing.
you can figure out, who's the highest probability of getting injured and stuff like that, and get your money's worth before all these seasons close down, because you really need that money in the fall and the winter. So that pretty much shows you that COVID-19, everyone's been sitting around. Even prime athletes have to deal with the same problem of like staying fit and staying optimum for professional level sports. So imagine normal people going back to the gym.
Oh man,
well, there's gonna be a lot of hurt.
Best thing that I can tell anybody that they're trying. If you're trying to follow some sort of fitness program in your home, outside your home, anywhere, if you're in a gym where they've allowed people to come in, the worst thing that you can do is try to undo 5 months of dormancy in one day. You're going to get the worst delayed onset muscle soreness. You will feel like you're about to die. And then you'll be wondering, why are you doing this fitness shit in the first place? So
never come back.
Yeah, and then you're never doing that shit again. The best thing that you can do is have the first 2 to 5 times that you go in, you limit your workout to 10 to 15 minutes. You do movements in all planes. You keep your numbers of reps down. Let your body feel it move, and then ramp up slowly from there. That's the best thing that I can tell you.
Yeah.
Do not try to undo 5 months in a day.
Because people
will regret it.
Because people are gonna think they're gonna do a Rocky 3 thing and start running out in the desert.
But you don't have montage music, and you don't have the montage editing. So your heart is not on fire. All right,
Yeah.
Just leave that shit alone.
Yeah, so that's a good clip for people out there. Let you know that stay healthy. Don't let the COVID get you down.